So all of them, this spin 0 is related to scalar particle, uncharged fact is related to real, and charged is related to complex. So you see how these particles are represented by which fields. Okay.
স্যার এই যে
Yes.
কে প্লাস কে মাইনাস বা পাই প্লাস পাই মাইনাস, এগুলো তো ডিফারেন্ট পার্টিকলস। এই ডিফারেন্ট
Yes.
পার্টিকলস কিভাবে মানে একই কমপ্লেক্স স্কেলার ফিল্ড দিয়ে
একই complex scalar field বলিনি আমি, they are represented by complex scalar fields, they are not represented by same complex scalar field, because you see, if you write the Klein-Gordon equation for pi 0, it will be this, so the mass will be m pi 0, so the solution is different. If it is for pi plus pi minus, the mass is m square is different, 135 140, so the solutions are different. The nature of this field is complex and real. For different particles, they are different fields. Only thing is that for pi plus and pi minus, it is the same field, because pi plus and pi minus have same masses, but one is represented by phi, other is by phi star. For k plus and k minus, they are antiparticles of each other, they have same masses, so the phi and phi star represents these particles, but phi and phi star satisfy Klein-Gordon equation with same mass of mk, that m square should be m of k square, both of them are same mass. There. So this is the nature of this field, not the
ওকে।
yeah. Okay, so this is, so up to this point, is everything clear? What do you understand by doing charge conjugation and how we apply it for real and scalar fields? That setup we made here. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now I should propagate to charge conjugation of Dirac field, which is far more complicated because of charge conjugation, and as well as the fact that Dirac field itself is a structured object. Okay, so we'll see this. So just give me 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. So এটা একটু কমপ্লিকেটেড, এটার ক্যালকুলেশন দেখে ভয় পাবে না, বুঝেছো? আমি একটু ধরে ধরে পড়াচ্ছি এটা, কারণ এখানে কিছু জিনিস কনসেপচুয়াল ব্যাপার আছে। দেখো, যখন আমরা স্কেলার ফিল্ডের জন্য যখন আমরা স্কেলার, এই শিবম আছে কি?
না স্যার দেখতে পাচ্ছি না।
No, sir.
সো যখন আমরা স্কেলার ফিল্ডের জন্য কমপ্লেক্স স্কেলার ফিল্ডের জন্য চার্জ কনজুগেশন অপারেশনটা ডিফাইন করেছিলাম, আমরা বলেছিলাম কি যে কমপ্লেক্স স্কেলার ফিল্ডের যে কমপ্লেক্সিটিটা সেইটার সঙ্গে চার্জের ব্যাপারটা অ্যাসোসিয়েট করেছি, কারণ চার্জ একটা প্রপার্টি, ইন্ট্রিনসিক প্রপার্টি, যেটা স্পেস টাইম প্রপার্টির সঙ্গে কখনো অ্যাসোসিয়েট করা যাবে না। ইন্ট্রিনসিক কোনো অন্য কোনো ইন্টারনাল প্রপার্টির সঙ্গে অ্যাসোসিয়েট করতে হবে, কিন্তু রিয়েল স্কেলার ফিল্ডের অন্য কোনো ইন্টারনাল প্রপার্টি নেই। কমপ্লেক্স স্কেলার ফিল্ডের আছে, সেটা চার্জ, সরি কমপ্লেক্সিটি, কমপ্লেক্স নেচারটা, সেটার সঙ্গে আমরা অ্যাসোসিয়েট করে ওইভাবে চার্জ কনজুগেশন অপারেশনটার ফ্রেমওয়ার্কটা আমরা তৈরি করেছি। সেই জিনিসটা বা ডিরাক ফিল্ডের জন্য করব। ডিরাক ফিল্ডের নিজস্ব অনেক ফিচার আছে। এটা একটা 4x1 column matrix, হ্যাঁ, প্রত্যেকটা এলিমেন্ট, each of the elements of this 4x1 column matrix is a complex function in general, তাই তো? So Dirac filter phi, যেটা is a 4x1 matrix, each element of that 4x1 matrix is a complex function. Now, just like we did for complex scalar fields, here also we relate the internal degrees of freedom of phi, internal degrees of freedom which generates due to complex nature. সেই complex nature এর জন্য যে phi এর মধ্যে যে internal degrees of freedom টা আছে, that we relate to the intrinsic charges of the particles described by the Dirac field. বোঝা গেল কিভাবে করবো সেটা? এটার মানে হচ্ছে, in other words, we say that charge conjugation of the Dirac field যেটা symbolically ভাবে লেখা হয়, it's symbolically written is like this, should somehow be related to psi star. Okay, so we consider this relation. So how, if you make charge conjugation of psi, it will be related to psi star. Now the most general relation can be a matrix into psi star, where A in general should be a 4x4 matrix, because psi star is 4x1. If psi is 4x1, therefore psi star is also 4x1. A should be 4x4, so that the result is 4x1. So that charge conjugation operation transforms this 4x1 object to a new 4x1 object which is related to psi star. And this is the most general way you can relate an unknown 4x1 object to psi star, because the thing, whatever it may be, it should be a 4x4 matrix. Okay. We assume that charge conjugation should not. Okay, this is the way you relate the charges to the internal complexity of the psi field. So this is the transformation, assumed transformation of psi field, where we have to find what is A. Clear? And to find what is A, we have to again make some postulate regarding the real free Dirac field. That free Lagrangian of the Dirac field is invariant under charge conjugation. Okay, because to determine something, you need something to be fixed. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
we have to take the complex conjugate of all the components of psi, or can we take one or two?
No. In general, all the complex. So this is basically psi 1, psi 2, psi 3, psi 4. This is psi. This, when conjugated, when you make this transformation, becomes star. All these elements become star. So that we write by psi star into into A from left. So this matrix is again a 4x4 matrix, 4x1 matrix. Clear? Because this is the, so we have nothing. We first assume that complex conjugate of psi charge conjugation of psi is related to complex conjugates of psi, and that is the, if you assume that only I will make only two components conjugate, other two not, then this, so you already put some structure to it without, so that is not a general choice. Okay, so that may not lead to, a generic solution. We will get a special solution. Okay. So in general, we put all psi, we delete charge conjugation of psi to this psi star, where all the elements are complex conjugated. Clear? Up to this, is this setup clear?
Yes, sir.
Now,
I said it's clear. Okay.
Okay. Now, to find out A in this equation, we postulate that the free Dirac-Lagrangian is invariant under charge conjugation. That is the same postulate we made for complex scalar field Lagrangian also. Free. Okay. So without this postulate, you can't proceed. Okay. Because Lagrangian is a real number, it is a Lorentz invariant quantity. So that means free Dirac-Lagrangian written in terms of the psi C field and written in terms of psi field should be same. Now you see, if we, because this is a complicated subject, I explicitly have written down everything in very detail, so you can read this at home. So if we use this relation, this charge conjugation, assumed charge conjugation relation in this equation A, this equation, what you expect to get? So if you put it here, so you will left hand side, left hand side would contain the objects like A dagger, psi star bar, etc. because of these terms. A dagger will be contained because when you will find psi C bar, it will contain A dagger. Okay, because psi C bar is psi dagger gamma 0. It will contain. So left hand side will contain this kind of objects, whereas right hand side will contain psi and psi star. You do nothing to the right hand side. So you can't drop psi and psi star from both sides. Clear? Because they will not get cancelled, because this will contain psi, this contains psi star and psi star bar, etc. This contains psi bar and psi. So you will not, so we cannot cancel the fields from both sides because of this, to get an expression of this constant matrix A, because the expression for A should not contain any psi, it is a constant matrix. So, but in this way, if you put it here, this cancellation is not very obvious. So let us not do this at this point. Clear? So why we skip this? Because we see an obvious difficulty here, because if you use this relation here, we can't get an identity on A because the fields can't get cancelled. So we take a roundabout way, which is the following. So now this is the most crucial and conceptual understanding is needed for this. You observe that Dirac-Lagrangian, whether written in terms of psi, which is the right hand side of equation A, or whether it is written in terms of psi C, which is the left hand side on this side, whether you write Dirac equation in terms of psi or psi c, the Lagrangian must be invariant under Lorentz transformation because it is a Lagrangian. So this Lagrangian and this Lagrangian, they're equal, and not only they're equal, demanded by your postulate that Dirac Lagrangian is invariant under charge conjugation, but also this Lagrangian, so also this Lagrangian must be Lorentz invariant. Under now I am bringing Lorentz transformation in here. Now, since this Dirac Lagrangian, whether written in terms of psi or psi c, are Lorentz invariant, it implies both psi and psi c should transform identically under Lorentz transformation in order that they are Lorentz invariant. Can you realize this? Because how you recall how you derived the transformation property of the Dirac field, Lorentz transformation property of the Dirac field, that psi goes to S into psi. How you derived S? Derive S, you assume that Dirac Lagrangian is Lorentz invariant. Okay. So you assume that Dirac Lagrangian is invariant under Lorentz transformation. From that assumption, you find out the Lorentz transformation of psi. It should transform in such a way that it is Lorentz invariant. Now, Dirac Lagrangian in terms of psi or psi c has the same form and they are Lorentz invariant. Therefore, psi and psi c must have same Lorentz transformation properties. Clear? This is so because Lorentz transformation property of Dirac field can only be obtained exploiting Lorentz invariance of Dirac equation at the first place. Because of this, psi and psi c should transform same way under a same given Lorentz transformation. Is it clear?
স্যার এই সেম ওয়ে বলতে একটু আরেকবার রিপিট করুন তো, কি মানে বলতে চাইছেন?
বলতে চাইছি যে how psi x transforms under Lorentz transformation, how you determine that? Or to determine that, you assume that this Dirac Lagrangian is invariant under Lorentz transformation. Then you exploit this postulate to find out how psi c transforms under Lorentz transformation. Is this clear? This is how you derive how psi c. Okay. Now, if you write the Dirac Lagrangian in terms of this field psi c, then this is the Lagrangian, which is the same form of this. So this Lagrangian is also Lorentz invariant. Now you find how psi c should transform. So the transformation equation should look exactly similar because everything is same here, only psi is replaced by psi c. So psi under Lorentz transformation, if it under the Lorentz transformation, say x prime is equal to lambda x, if psi transforms under this Lorentz transformation, if psi x transforms as this, psi c of x should also transform like this.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Because they are on same footing in this context. Clear?
Yes.
So let's proceed. So let us take this our starting point, that this psi c, which is a psi star, has same Lorentz transformation property as this. This is an equivalent statement of this statement. That Dirac Lagrangian, when written in terms of psi and psi c, should be same because charge conjugation invariant. That the fact that Dirac Lagrangian is invariant under charge conjugation, which is this equation, can be equivalently expressed in this way, that psi c and psi has same Lorentz transformation properties, like this. Is this clear?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Now we have to find A now. Find A from this condition. Instead of putting this in Lagrangian and testing the two Lagrangians are equal, instead of doing that, we use this condition that psi and psi and psi c has same Lorentz transformation properties. So we have to find A, but let us write for some convenience, which will be evident later. We express A in a different way like this. So this is just a definition. We write this unknown matrix A in terms of an unknown matrix C and this known gamma 0 in this way. Okay, so this is just a definition of A in terms of C. So that means we have to determine C. Then we can get A by multiplying it by gamma 0 t. Why I am saying that for latter convenience, because you see this ultimately in the Lagrangian we have psi bar, and psi bar is related to psi star by what? Psi bar is psi dagger gamma 0. So psi dagger is psi star transpose. Clear? Into gamma 0. Now, because of this transpose, we will see that this transpose will be effective. Because of that, I put it in this way, because then C will have more simpler form than A. That we know. I know that's why I put it at the beginning, because it will be easier to carry C instead of A. We'll see that. But this is just a convention. Clear? So there is nothing to understand here. So only note that C should also be a 4x4 matrix, because gamma 0 T is the transpose of gamma 0, which is a known matrix in the sense that it is the first matrix of the gamma matrices which satisfies Clifford algebra. So gamma 0 T is also a 4x4 matrix. So two 4x4 matrices product, which makes A 4x4, which is our requirement. A should be a 4x4 matrix. That was the requirement of this. Therefore, C should also be 4x4. Yeah. Okay. Now, so finally we write this again. We now write everything in terms of C. That we assume that under charge conjugation, psi x transforms as psi c, which is equal to C gamma in place of A. I have put this. So this is the charge conjugation transformation, where I have to find out C from this condition, that in this condition B, that this and this have same Lorentz transformation properties. Now apply this. What is the Lorentz under this Lorentz infinitesimal Lorentz transformation? You know, psi x transforms under Lorentz transformation. So this is Lorentz transformation, therefore I am changing x. Under Lorentz transformation, this is this. So in these calculations, Lorentz transformation and charge conjugation transformations both are involved. So you have to be very careful. So under Lorentz transformation, psi x transforms in this way. You all know this, and you all know what is sigma mu nu is. It is the I by 2 and commutator of gamma mu gamma nu. Okay. Now by the requirement B, that is psi c should also transform in the same way as psi. Therefore, psi c under Lorentz transformation should be like this, where this Lorentz transformation matrix for Dirac spinor should be same here. This matrix and this matrix are same. Okay, so this is the demand we implemented, that psi and psi c transforms in the same way under Lorentz transformation. Clear? So, and this equation, now psi c you replace psi c by this term A into psi star, which is C gamma 0 into psi star, should transforms in this way. So remember very carefully, you have to, this prime is due to the fact that it is a Lorentz transformation. Star is due to the fact that we are taking psi c here. Okay, so psi cx is, there is no prime here. Okay, ঠিক আছে তো?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So now look at C and D. C and D থেকে আমরা কি করতে পারি? C and D থেকে আমরা C কে C গামা 0 দিয়ে যদি বাদিক দিয়ে মাল্টিপ্লাই করি, লেফট হ্যান্ড সাইডটা ইকুয়াল হয়ে যায়। ওকে, তাহলে আমরা রাইট হ্যান্ড সাইড ইকুয়াল করতে পারি। সো look at these two equations. Okay, so শুধু মাল্টিপ্লাই করলে হবে না, এটাকে কমপ্লেক্স কনজুগেট করে মাল্টিপ্লাই করতে হবে। So look at these two equations. So take the complex conjugate of C, which is this. Complex conjugate nile 1, this I will become plus sigma mu nu is I by 2 into commutator, it is a matrix. So it will be complex conjugated. Omega mu nu are Lorentz transformation parameters, so it is a real numbers. Okay. So it will not be get complex, and psi will become psi star. So it is the complex, E is the complex conjugate of C. Okay, now put this equation in D, because here in place of this you use this equation. So you get C gamma 0 tau, C gamma 0 t into this for full term. So C gamma 0 t into this full expression you get, put it here, is equal to this side. Okay, so you get this. ঠিক আছে? Now you see, now you can drop the fields, because these fields appear on both sides. Same field appear on both sides. Now you can drop these fields. If you drop these fields, what you will get? You will get this equation, and this equation is and in the latter stage, this same equation. In this state, you can also drop omega. Okay, you now, so this equation and this equation are same. I repeated it here, same equation. So now do this. So multiply C gamma 0 t, you will get this. Now C gamma, this will cancel out. First terms of both sides will cancel out. So you are left with this second term in both sides. And from the second term again, you can drop omega mu nu, because it is arbitrary. For any omega mu nu, any Lorentz transformation index, any value of for any amount of Lorentz transformation, this equation should always hold. Therefore, you can drop omega mu nu. So remember, dropping omega mu nu means I am not dividing it by omega mu nu, because it is a summed over. You can't divide it, but since it is true for any arbitrary mu nu, therefore this part must be equal to this part, so that this can be equal. Clear? Is this argument clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you get an equation. Now we get an identity, because C is the unknown matrix here. All the matrices we know in terms of gamma matrices, because this is gamma 0 t, this is commutator of gamma mu start, and this is commutator of gamma mu. So this equation is basically this equation. So we get, so it is independent, irrelevant whether you write gamma mu up or down, because if you put down one, you bring down both sides. I bring down because I have to write star to have space. Because of that, I put it down here. So C satisfies this equation. That is our aim. What is C? But this is some form of C, with some form of dependence, some form of relation which C satisfies. From that, we have to find C. Okay. Now, first find this object. Look at this object. Let us find this. Okay, so using this. So gamma mu is this. So gamma mu is this, which is commutator. These are straightforward but calculations, but I mean, this is a large calculation. All together, everything put together is a large calculation. So you make it a star. So everything, it will be minus sign, everything will be starred. Now, gamma mu star, you can write gamma mu dagger transpose. Clear? Because dagger is starred into transpose. That transpose will make both transpose to go away, and you are left with gamma mu star. Clear? So every starred thing you can write dagger into transpose, because I know what gamma mu dagger is. So gamma mu dagger is gamma 0, gamma mu, gamma 0, and this whole transpose is there from the other side. So for each term, I don't did this. Now, again, you put A, B, C, whole transpose is C transpose, B transpose, A transpose. So C and A are same here anyway. So this will be like this. Again, this will be like this. This will be like this, and this will be like this. So, hello? Okay. So, now you bring these two together. So gamma 0 transpose into gamma 0 transpose is gamma 0 into gamma 0 whole transpose. Now gamma 0 is 1. So this whole object is 1. This is 1. This is also 1. So putting this 1, you get, you simplify it like this. This 2 will go. You have left with this. Now you take gamma 0 out from this side, gamma 0 t out from this side, because gamma 0, these are common to both terms. In the middle, you have this, which you can again write as gamma mu t. This, okay? This appears. Now, okay, so you take this minus sign in front and reverse it. So this whole thing will be like this. So you bring I by 2 inside. So I by 2 will have no effect on the transpose. So this thing will be gamma 0 t, gamma mu transpose, gamma 0 t. Okay, so gamma mu star will be this. In other words, if you multiply it both sides by, from left and right, by gamma 0 t, then gamma 0 t, gamma mu star gamma 0 t is, you're multiplying this and this from both sides, this side and this side. So again, this is 1, this is 1. So you get gamma mu t. So this is the equation which you can make use. So what we have done, so we will come back to this equation. We'll come back to the equation H, because there are so many equations. What is that equation? This equation is the equation we derived earlier. Now we have calculated what is this. Now in this equation H, which is this, in place of, we have to use, you can use this relation. To use this relation, we have to have gamma 0 transpose, sigma mu star gamma 0 transpose. So here we multiply on both sides from right by gamma 0 t, so that we can replace this by this. And the right hand side will become 2 gamma 0 t's, will cancel out, so that you will have this equation. Clear? I have written everything down here. Now you multiply again by C inverse from left, which will make it C inverse from left. So you have, so this equation means this equation. So which is C, which is this equation. Clear? So we simplified the appearance of this equation just by using the gamma matrix algebra technology. So this matrix C, which we have to find, satisfies this equation. So the matrix C introduced here in this way satisfies equation J, in order that psi and psi C satisfies same Lorentz transformation properties. Or in other words, the Dirac-Lagrangian is invariant for psi and psi c. Okay. And that C should satisfy this. We have derived up to this point. Now, there is a question that does there really exist such a matrix which has to satisfy this? The equation we derived here, this J equation, which I have rewritten here. Now, the question is whether it is a special kind of matrix, whether such a matrix should exist or not. If it does not exist, then the whole point of making the charge conjugation becomes, you can't do it because there is no such matrix, because you see that to have been for charge conjugation transform to keep Dirac-Lagrange invariant, this C should satisfy this equation. Now C is a matrix, so all these are, this is an identity whether there is really a 4x4 matrix which satisfies C. Now you see that if this matrix C satisfies this equation, so this is a, try to follow it. If this matrix C satisfies this equation, then C will automatically satisfy this equation. Can you prove this? If C satisfies this equation, it will satisfy this equation. So this proof is given below. So you take this side, you write C inverse, and this you open up this sigma mu nu by the commutator and express it like this way, multiply C. Then this, in this first term, in between you introduce C into C inverse. Also here you introduce C into C inverse, because C into C inverse is always 1. Now first matrix is, if you assume this, that means for this you have to put this. So if you sorry, so where is that? Okay, if you put this, or if you put this here, then you get this is equal to minus, clear? Which is same as this. This minus sign will go up, 2 minus signs will go, which again you can do some algebra, simple algebra of transposes and write it this way. So this is equal to, so you prove that this matrix, this part is equal to this equation, which is equation J. Okay. So which is this equation. So we have proved this using this. That means if C satisfies this equation, it will also satisfy this equation. In other words, we can now say that psi and psi C have same transformation properties under Lorentz transformation if the matrix C satisfies this equation. Steps গুলো বুঝতে পারলে? লজিক গুলো কোথায় কোথায় কি লাগিয়েছি? So I am trying to find out C, and I am boiling down, I mean simpler forms of this equation. Here. So this is the final setup, that under charge conjugation, psi satisfies, psi transforms under charge conjugation in this way, where C satisfies this equation. Now the same question remains unanswered, that whether such a matrix exists which should satisfy this. We have recasted this equation in terms of this equation, but the question is not answered. Does there exist a matrix C which satisfies this? Which means, does that exist a matrix which satisfies this? Can you have a matrix which can satisfy this? So let's investigate further. So the question is whether there exists a matrix C which satisfies this equation. Okay. Now, see a very interesting and important result. I don't know whether you know this. You've done this while doing direct equation. Okay, you have not done this because this Church conjugation. But okay, the matrices, gamma matrices satisfies Clifford algebra. You know this. Now you check that this matrix minus gamma mu t. Now you check that minus gamma mu t, comma minus gamma nu t, that anticommutator. If you do this and use this, if you find their anticommutator using the Clifford algebra of gamma matrices, you will find that the result is same. That means gamma, this matrix also satisfies Clifford algebra. So we have shown that this matrix, which is equal to this matrix, C inverse gamma mu C, this matrix, if gamma mu satisfies Clifford algebra, this matrix will also satisfy Clifford algebra. Or in other words, if you write Dirac equation in terms of gamma matrices, C inverse gamma mu C provides a different representation of gamma matrices. Do you follow?
Yes, sir.
You see this. Now you see this result. This gamma matrix satisfies this Clifford algebra. Now suppose U is a unitary matrix such that gamma tilde is this. This is a new matrix. U is any 4x4 unitary matrix. Gamma matrix satisfies this equation. Then if you define gamma mu tilde like this, then you can show that gamma mu tilde also satisfies this equation. Well, this is very easy to show because you take the anticommutator and put in place of this definition, and UU dagger is 1, so it will go. So take UU dagger and this. In place of this, you can put the result of Clifford algebra here. And now, so you get 2 eta mu nu U I U dagger, which is UU dagger, which is 1. Okay, so if gamma matrices satisfies Clifford algebra, this also satisfies Clifford algebra, where U is unitary. That means, what does that mean? That means two different representations or sets of gamma matrices represented by this and this, both of which satisfies Clifford algebra, must be connected by a unitary transformation. Do you follow? বোঝা গেল?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
তার মানে এটা করেছো তো, এটা করেছো কি আগে?
হ্যাঁ, ওই ওয়েল করার সময় দুটো একই।
Okay, তার মানে if you look at this Dirac equation written in terms of psi and gamma matrices, now you multiply it by U from left and introduce an U dagger U here. Now you multiply U and U dagger from both sides on this, so you will get, first term you will get this and del mu on U psi, and second term will be U dagger will be 1 in the second term, in the M term, mass term, it will be U psi, so that you can write, if you write this as this and if you write U psi as psi bar, then you can see that this equation has the same form of Dirac equation. So this is also Dirac equation, but with a different Dirac spinner. So we say if psi satisfies Dirac equation with gamma matrices gamma mu, then psi tilde, which is U of psi, U is the unitary matrix, should satisfy the Dirac equation with this gamma matrix, which is this equation. So if you change the representation of gamma matrices, the Dirac spinner also changes from psi to psi tilde, like this. So Dirac spinner transforms like this, and Dirac gamma matrices transforms like this. Both these tilde objects will satisfy the same form of Dirac equation. Okay, in that sense, Dirac equation's form remains invariant under this unitary transformation, where you transform the field as well as the gamma matrices in this way. And these newly transformed gamma matrices also satisfy Clifford algebra. So we have what we have shown basically this. So we have shown that we have earlier shown that this matrix satisfies the Clifford algebra. That means this matrix which satisfies Clifford algebra and the gamma matrix must be related by a unitary transformation, because both satisfies Clifford algebra, then they should be related by a unitary transformation, which I have just proved. And since unitary transformation, you can always do, and unitary matrices always exist, so you can always do an unitary transform, take any unitary matrix, you can always do a unitary transformation to these matrices. So you can say that the matrix C must exist, because any unitary transformation of gamma matrices like this you can frame, which would satisfy Clifford algebra, and see this also satisfies Clifford algebra. Therefore, so from gamma mu to this matrix, you can go by a unitary transformation. That means C matrix must exist. This proves the existence of C. Do you follow?
Yes, sir.
স্যার
So,
এই যে ইকুয়েশনটা, এই আগের যে ইকুয়েশনটা লিখলেন সি ইনভার্স গামা মিউ সি ইকুয়ালস টু ইউ গামা মিউ ইউ ড্যাগার, তো এই ইকুয়েশনটাতে কোনো ইউনিক সলিউশন নেই, মানে সি এর কোনো ইউনিক চয়েস কি পাবো?
ইউনিক চয়েস না, পাবে না, এইটুকুই তোমাকে নিতে হবে, কিন্তু পাবে যখন তুমি গামা ম্যাট্রিক্সের একটা পার্টিকুলার ফর্ম নেবে তখন পাবে। ইউ টেক এ পার্টিকুলার ফর্ম অফ গামা ম্যাট্রিক্স, ক্লিয়ার, and a particular form of u, একটা পার্টিকুলার তাকে ইউনিট ট্রান্সফরমেশন দাও, তখন ইউ উইল গেট এ পার্টিকুলার ফর্ম অফ সি।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ,
This only proves that C exists. You can actually have a matrix C which satisfies this equation. I have just proved that such a matrix, its existence is guaranteed. You can find it. Now, if you want to form a form of C, for that you have to assume a form of gamma matrix. So the final result is again this. So we said this Dirac-Lagrangian has to be invariant under Church conjugation. Then the transformation of Dirac field under Church conjugation should be like this. Okay, where C satisfies this. And we just showed after so many things that C matrix must exist. That means it is not just arbitrarily written some equation. Okay. So this is the Lorentz transformation property of Dirac matrices. Clear? I think I should stop today, but we have seen the Church conjugation property of, sorry, what do you remember? What is the space transformation, space inversion properties of gamma matrices of Dirac field? Psi x, if you do under parity, how it goes? You remember, if it is gamma 0, what? Psi, what is that? Do you remember? Psi star. Forget. In the previous class. This is not star. Look at this. This is the Dirac-Spinor field, how transforms under parity. So gamma 0 psi tilde. So under parity, it will be gamma 0 x tilde. X tilde is t n minus x. So parity transformation changes x to minus x. and multiply it by gamma 0, and there is also an eta phase factor here. So and this is the parity transformation, and this is the charge conjugation transformation. Here? বোঝা গেল?
Yes.
Suppose you want to do both. How psi x changes under this operation C into P. So you first do parity transformation. So psi x changes to eta gamma 0 psi tilde psi t of minus x under P. Then you operate C again on this. If you operate C, then this will not change. This again will change to what? So this will be changed to eta gamma 0. Now psi is will change to C gamma 0 t psi star. So C gamma 0 t psi star, but argument will be this argument t minus x. Clear? This way you can do both operations. It is so if you do it other way around, if you do first C and then P, you will get the same result, because one affects. We will get same result. Okay, we will see this in this next class. But so this is the most important thing, that Dirac field changes under charge conjugation in this way. Now you can check if psi transforms in this way, how psi bar will transform. Try to find out yourself at home. It will be very easy, I think, because how under charge conjugation it transforms. Okay, because this is just, because psi bar she is psi dagger gamma 0. In place of psi dagger, you have to put this thing dagger into gamma 0. Okay, you see this, how it transforms. And then you can verify whether psi bar psi remains invariant under charge conjugation. Later we will gradually see how all the bilinears transform under charge conjugation. Those results we will need in future when we ultimately finally write down the Lagrangian for interaction fields for quarks and leptons. Okay. Okay, then so I stop here. When is the next class?
Monday.
Oh, সোমবার। আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে, okay. So do these calculations yourself.
Sir, I have a question, very common question. Pi plus and pi minus, are they antiparticles?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Generally, generally particles and antiparticles are denoted by the same Greek symbol for mesons, for leptons, for baryons. I mean, this spin 3/2 baryons, you will find that sigma minus and sigma plus, they are not their own antiparticles. They have different particles with nearly equal masses. can check my previous class notes. But for mesons and leptons, particles and antiparticles, we use same Greek symbol to represent these particles. Their charge of electric charges are on the top. From that you can see electric charges are opposite. They are particles and antiparticles. So it is given in the notation. বলো কি বলছিলে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, বলছি যে আমরা যে পার্টিকেলস গুলো নিয়ে কাজ করছি, ধরুন ইলেকট্রন বা পজিট্রন, এদের তো চার্জটা সবসময় কনজার্ভড, মানে ইলেকট্রিক চার্জ বা যে কোনো চার্জ যাদের ইন্ট্রিনসিক কোয়ান্টাম নাম্বার গুলো, তো এগুলো কি কোনো সিমেট্রি থেকে আসে? মানে আমি যে কনজারভেশনটা বলছি সেটা কি কোনো সিমেট্রি থেকে ফলো করে?
না, that an electron carries a charge is not a process. তোমার জন্য একটা প্রসেসে একটা চার্জ কনজার্ভ থাকে, সেখানে তুমি বলতে পারো একটা ওই একটা তুমি ওই পরে আমি দেখাবো ওই সিমেট্রি, মানে একটা চার্জ একটা প্রসেসের ক্ষেত্রে তুমি চার্জ কনজারভেশন ব্যাপারটা তুমি বলতে পারো। চার্জেস কনজার্ভড এই স্টেটমেন্টটা হ্যাজ মিনিংফুল। পার্টিকেল ক্যারিজ এ চার্জ, সেইখানে চার্জ কনজারভেশনের প্রশ্ন কি করে আসছে? চার্জ ইজ অ্যান ইন্ট্রিনসিক, and a free particle carries some charge, so it carries some charge. That is an intrinsic property. The process of conservation comes when time passes and something happens. Then you see what is conserved. So যখন একটা প্রসেসে ঢুকছে, একটা ডিকে হচ্ছে বা স্ক্যাটারিং হচ্ছে, তখন সেই চার্জটা কনজার্ভড হচ্ছে কি হচ্ছে না সেটা দেখতে পারো। তুমি ওই কনজার্ভড চার্জ যখন ক্যালকুলেট করো ফিল্ড থিওরিতে, তখন সবসময় সেগুলো ওই পুরো সিস্টেমের জন্য, সেগুলো অ্যাকচুয়ালি যখন তুমি ওই একবার কোয়ান্টাম ফিল্ড একবার ফিল্ড কোয়ান্টাইজেশন করলে, তখন সেগুলো ইজিলি রিলেট করতে পারবে পার্টিকেলের সঙ্গে। এখন এই যে আমি রিলেশনটা করলাম পার্টিকেলের সঙ্গে ফিল্ডের, সেটা আমি জানি ফিল্ডের চার্জ আছে, সেটা পার্টিকেলের চার্জ আছে, সেটা ফিল্ডের মধ্যে কোনোভাবে থাকবে, কিন্তু ফিল্ডের কিসের মধ্যে থাকবে সেটা আমি ওই কমপ্লেক্স নেচারের মধ্যে থাকবে, এইভাবে এইটুকু শুধু বলা হয়েছে এখানে। কিন্তু হাউ দ্যাট পার্টিকেল ইজ রিলেটেড টু দ্যাট ফিল্ড, সেই ডেসক্রিপশনের মধ্যে সেই জিনিসটা কিন্তু তুমি এখানে পাবে না, কারণ যতক্ষণ না ফিল্ডকে কোয়ান্টাইজ করছো, you will not get quanta which are like particles. You have just a field. So when you see in the laboratory an electron, it is a particle. You are observing scattering of two electrons. It is a particle, but a field has its effect throughout all point in space-time. So that localization aspect এখানে নেই, লোকালাইজেশনটা আরেকবার ফিল্ডকে কোয়ান্টাইজ করলে তখন আসে, সেইটা এখন আমি বলতে পারবো না যতক্ষণ না ওটা করছি বা সঞ্জয় করছে। কিন্তু তোমার এইখানে যেটা পড়ানো হলো সেটা হচ্ছে যে যেভাবেই হোক, পরে যেভাবেই আসুক, আলটিমেটলি পার্টিকেলের যে চার্জ সেটা ফিল্ডের মধ্যে কোন জায়গা দিয়ে ঢুকবে সেই জিনিসটা আমি দেখছি।
Excuse me, sir. I have a question. Real scalar field describes spinless particle, and those are antiparticles of themselves. Complex scalar field describes particles which are spinless, but they have antiparticles.
Yes.
But this Dirac field describes spin-half particles.
Spin-half particles.
Can we show this? So Dirac field describes spin-half particles.
Yes.
Can we show this? We have not shown.
We will show this. We will show this.
Okay.
We'll show this. Okay. So you can see this from the solutions, but okay, I will show this. I will show this in some class, because those are important things. Because Sanjay told me to do these things do this charge conjugation parity for complex, for quantum field theory course. So I taught this. There is another operation called time reversal, where you change xt to x minus t. You don't, this is opposite of parity. In parity, you change xt to minus xt. In time reversal, you change xt to x minus of t. Okay. So if you do time reversal and space inversion simultaneously, then nothing is changed. Here. Or you will see that, so this is an important thing, this is an important theorem, CPT, I mean. So this transformation changes space 2 minus x. Flip space. This transformation flips the direction of flow of time, t2 minus t. So everything is flipping here. All are discrete transformations. You are flipping space, you are flipping time. Without space and besides space and time, whatever you have about anything in the universe is their properties, which collectively we call charge. It flips the charge. So I wrote a mail last time, few days back, that this is space, time, and C is the causation, or this agent which is involved in the process. So in any process, you have all these three things. Any process means any process happens at a time, at a space, and in that process, happening of that process, the reason that you distinguish it as a process, because that process, happening of the process is done by the charges of these agents which are involved in that process. Okay. So all the processes are basically some this charge, space and time, this q, x and t. All the processes are basically are cooking up a food cooked up from these three elements. Okay. Now, how these three elements are inherent in a process, how they are being mixed up in a process, gets mixed up to give you the phenomenal world. We can't directly say this, but this is the way to probe, to see how these things are related, how these things get combined in a process. So you flip all signs of all these three and see how the process changes. Now, there is a theorem which is called CPT theorem, that take any process in this universe, and this theorem can be proved mathematically. Okay. If take any, whatever be your system or your process, if you flip all these three simultaneously, that means if you are making a transformation like CPT on anything means on any, say, any process means it should be represented by an interaction Lagrangian or an interaction Hamiltonian, we will see later. If you do it on anything, it will not change. That means if you reverse the sign of the charges in any process, if you reverse the position of these particles, flip the position of the particles to negative side, and if simultaneously if you flip the direction of flow of time, then you will not understand any difference. Okay. And this is true for the whole world. So space, time and charge are mingled in a process, mingled in a phenomenon in such a way that when all the three are simultaneously flipped sign, then you can't distinguish them. So this is the way you have to say how space, time, charge, etc. are cooked up together to generate this whole world. Yeah, there are, but if you do only charge flip, then there are processes which will be different. If you only do P flip, then there are processes which will be different. If you do flips like CP, then there are processes will be different. But if you do this, all processes will remain invariant. The descriptions of all processes will remain invariant. So suppose you have a different world. Suppose you have a different world where all these inherent properties of everything is opposite to with respect to your world. Okay. All these objects we see in your world, their mirror reflections are existing in that other world. And in that other world, the time direction is flowing in the opposite direction. So you are moving from future to past in that exotic world. So these two worlds are exactly same. We will see that later when we study CPT theorem.
স্যার ওই যে সিপিটিটা বলছেন এটা কি মানে আমরা যদি দুটো স্টাডি করলাম প্যারিটি আর চার্জ কনজুগেশন, এবার যদি আমরা টাইম ট্রান্সলেশনটা করে এবার ওই এই তিনটে যদি অ্যাক্ট করাই তাহলে কি এরকম আইডেন্টিটি ট্রান্সফরমেশন পেয়ে যাবো?
হ্যাঁ, সিপিটি ইজ অ্যান আইডেন্টিটি ট্রান্সফরমেশন, পাবে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা,
সেটা সেই প্রুফটা অত সোজা নয়, সেটা প্রুফটা মানে ক্লাসে করানো মুশকিল। প্রুফ অফ করানো যাবে। Okay, so in any sense, so see, whatever you have, so even this world around you, this physical around you are made up of quarks and leptons. Okay, everything is the fact that I am talking to you, everything. So suppose you have a friend, so you take all the you see loosely you see an image of your friend in the mirror. Okay, and suppose your friend moves from future to past, that is his time flow of direction. So you are seeing your friend's image in the mirror, but in a reversed, his image is moving in the reverse direction. Somehow you make it. If you can make it, somehow you make it and change all these properties of your friend, that is how good he is, make him bad. Okay, see, like that those are the charges. So all charges you make to opposite, then that strange image where time flows in opposite direction, that is an image, and all these qualities are reversed, that will be exactly same as your friend. You can't distinguish them. To you, both will appear same. This is how space, time, and charges are what is called married together. দুটোকে তিনটাকে আলাদা করা খুব মুশকিল, কারণ এই তিনটে দিয়েই সবকিছু, এই তিনটাকে তুমি আলাদা করতে পারবে না। যে কোনো কিছু ফিজিক্যালি, মেন্টালি তুমি চিন্তা করতে পারো, কিন্তু ফিজিক্যালি কোনো প্রসেস ঘটছে, তুমি স্পেস টাইমকে আলাদা করতে পারো? স্পেস টাইম আর ধর্মকে তার মধ্যে থেকে ওই তিনটে নিয়েই সবকিছু তৈরি হচ্ছে একসাথে। তুমি বোঝার জন্য আলাদা করে ভেবে দেখছো, আচ্ছা কি এইভাবে ওইভাবে তৈরি হয়েছে। বুঝেছো? এগুলো খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং জিনিস, কিন্তু আমরা ফিজিক্যাল সিস্টেমসের জন্য এগুলো করছি। যে কোনো সিস্টেমের কিন্তু এই প্রপার্টিগুলো আছে। সিপিটি যে আইডেন্টিটি, এটা কোনো সিস্টেমের কনটেক্সটে তুমি সিপিটি যদি ওইভাবে ডিফাইন করো, পার্টিকেলের ক্ষেত্রে আমরা এভাবে ডিফাইন করলাম, এই রিলেটিভিস্টিক ফিল্ডের ক্ষেত্রে, কিন্তু these are very profound truths.
Sir,
to comprehend this,
and CPT for any process you have told, is it also applicable for our universe? Like you told in this world, I am there. A parallel universe concept, is it linked to that?
No. See, what in your universe is, your physical universe is a collection of processes only.
Yes.
So all processes are invariant under CPT. So if so whatever, I don't know what is parallel universe, but if you mentally think of a universe where all these C's are charges are opposite, or all these position coordinates are flipped with respect to observer, is in the other direction, and time is flowing in the opposite direction, then this your mentally thought universe is exactly same as the universe sitting in which you are thinking this. Those
Okay,
are not,
okay.
not two different
I
things.
got it.
বুঝছো? কিন্তু তুমি আর তোমার ইমেজ সমান নও। তোমার ইমেজ, তোমার ডান হাত ইমেজে বা হাত হয়ে যায়। তোমার প্রপার্টিগুলোকে শুধু যদি আলাদা উল্টো করে দিই, হ্যাঁ, মানে তুমি খুব রাগী, তোমাকে যদি আমি শান্ত করে দিই, তোমরা ডিফার করে গেলে। তোমার টাইম ডিরেকশন যদি উল্টে দিই, তোমার বয়স বেশি থেকে কমের দিকে যাবে। কিন্তু তিনটি যদি একসাথে করি, তাহলে এই ওয়ার্ল্ডে যেমন হচ্ছে ওয়ার্ল্ডে একই রকম হবে। তুমি কোনো প্রসেসের মধ্যে কোনো তফাৎ দেখবে না, তুমি জানতেও পারবে না কি তফাৎ। বুঝলে?
Okay, sir.
ঠিক আছে, ওকে। সো আচ্ছা, আজকে কি বার?
স্যাটারডে।
আজকে স্যাটারডে। ও, সোমবার ক্লাস। আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। সোমবার কখন ক্লাস বলো তো?
সকালে।
সকালে নেবেন বলেছে।
আচ্ছা, সকালে, ঠিক আছে, ওকে।
সকাল মানে কি 10টায়?
না, 11টায় নেই, 10টায় ঘুম থেকে ওঠো না তোমরা। ওকে।